Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a sort of adjunct to my repertoire video on Liszt's Mephisto Waltz, that fabulous piano piece that's alternately luscious and erotic and demonic. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Well, it may interest you to know, some of you I know already do, but there is a movie called The Mephisto Waltz from around 1972. It starred Jacqueline Bisset and Alan Alda, of all people. It's a wonderful story. Oh, my goodness. And the score is by Jerry Goldsmith. And it incorporates both Liszt's Mephisto Waltz and the Dies Irae, a lot of Dies Irae. Do, 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 that thing from Symphonie Fantastique and Liszt Totentanz and everything by Rachmaninoff and whatnot. Anyway, so you may, if you're curious, want to hear this too, if you like the Mephisto Waltz. Actually, the Mephisto Waltz gets played in the movie, but not so much in the soundtrack, only the opening. That's a sort of recurring motif in the film. And there are other, demonic thingies that pop up and down in it. It's a wonderful score. The story. Well, we got to do the story. Let me tell you what it's about, and then you'll see. There's a guy who's a pianist, and he's dying of leukemia, and he's a Satanist. He's living in an incestuous relationship with his sister, Roxanne, or Roxana, or something like that. And because he's dying of leukemia, they make a deal with Satan that he will be able to transfer his mind into the body of another more appropriate physical specimen. So he is being interviewed by a failed pianist / reporter, Alan Alda, and he notices immediately that said reporter has just lovely hands. Well, said reporter is married. I think his wife's name is like Pauline or something, and they have a daughter. And satanic pianist and Roxanne, or Roxana, whatever her name is, think he'd be just a darling specimen. So they do their, witchcraft, voodoo, satanic hoo-ha, and he transfers at the moment that he dies. He's been doing interviews with this guy and whatnot, and he takes over the guy's body, and he's transferred into the dying body of the pianist, which makes everything just fabulous, because he realizes that he can play the piano still really wonderfully and have a fabulous career. His wife, Pauline, however, is suspicious because her husband is behaving strangely and all of a sudden plays the piano just marvelously, and she starts having nightmares. And one of the things she dreams is that her husband is that they're going to kill their daughter. And she winds up with like blue goop on her forehead and she dies. Apparently, that was the price Satan demanded for the switcheroo that happened previously. So the daughter's dead, and Pauline Pauline, I don't remember. She likes her new satanic husband, but she doesn't like Roxanne. She never liked Roxanne, and Roxanne didn't like her. So she kind of ferrets out this whole satanic thing deal. They try to kill her too, by the way. But Pauline is a smart gal, and she figures it out. And so she makes a deal with Satan to get rid of Roxanne. And so she takes over Roxanne's body and then kills Pauline. They drown her in the bathtub or something, who's really Roxanne, but they think it's Pauline. So now Alan Alda is really the satanic pianist, and Roxanne is really Pauline, who wants him all along, and they can go on and have a fabulous satanic life together. Well, that's the story. And this particular soundtrack album, which is on Fox, it's conducted by Goldsmith, also contains his suite from The Other of 1972, a trashy horror movie that was so crappy that most of Goldsmith's music was not used. So he put together this little 22-minute suite. The interesting thing about these, you may recall that Goldsmith went on to do The Omen, and he won an Oscar, his only Oscar, actually, for The Omen, but which was a very different sounding score, actually. This one, if you know your avant-garde classical music, with all the string glissandos and electronic taped hoogies and texture sound cluster things. Well, that's what this is, along with the Mephisto Waltz and the Dies Irae constantly running through it. I mean, it would very easily pass for one of the Darmstadt school sort of things. Really fascinatingly. So it's fun to listen to, and it's fun to listen to from the classical music perspective. Because remember, Goldsmith did, the Planet of the Apes. It was an atonal score. I mean, he was musically quite advanced, actually, and he brought a lot of new sounds to Hollywood film scoring. So this is a really, really, really fun and interesting soundtrack to listen to. If you like the Mephisto Waltz, if you're interested in Goldsmith, if you like avant-garde classical stuff and the relationship between that stuff and popular media, because the avant-gardists would sooner die than be in any way associated with popular media. But the truth is, people had been listening to avant-garde-ish type noises and advanced playing techniques and all of that crap in the context of a film score, and never thinking twice about it, thinking, oh, this is really cool. It's absolutely great. It's perfect for the film. It's only when it was presented to people as high art away from the film that everybody just went, oh, come on, it's unlistenable, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not, and it's fun. So here it is, the Mephisto Waltz by Jerry Goldsmith. Give it a shot. You may have some fun with it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.